The air between us felt thin, stretched taut, with an unspoken question I was too cowardly to answer. Liam and I had built a life, a beautiful, sturdy home filled with laughter and shared dreams, or so I believed then. We had years behind us, years of comforting routine, predictable affection, and a quiet understanding that formed the bedrock of our existence. I loved Liam, truly, deeply, in the way you love the sun rising each morning, a constant, reliable presence. But somewhere along the line, the sun had started to feel a little less bright, a little more distant. I found myself yearning for something sharper, something that would cut through the comfortable haze of our everyday. I started feeling invisible, a part of the furniture, a cherished antique that was admired but rarely truly seen. My words, my thoughts, my small anxieties seemed to bounce off a wall of his preoccupied silence. He was there, always, but increasingly, he wasn't really there with me. This feeling festered, a tiny insidious seed of discontent taking root in the fertile ground of my unchallenged routine. I told myself it was normal, that all relationships settled into this quiet hum. But a part of me, a dangerous, restless part, yearned for more. Then Mark entered. He wasn't a whirlwind, not a dramatic disruption, but a soft, insistent breeze that ruffled the calm surface of my life. We met at a work conference, a chance encounter during a coffee break. He laughed at my jokes, not just politely, but with genuine mirth that reached his eyes. He asked questions about my life, my passions, my forgotten dreams, and actually listened to the answers. He saw me, truly saw me, in a way I hadn't felt seen in years. It was intoxicating, a powerful elixir that made me feel vibrant and alive again. It started innocently, as all such things do. Lingering conversations by the water cooler, an extra 5 minutes after a meeting, a casual coffee that stretched into lunch. I told myself it was harmless, just a friendship, a welcome intellectual stimulation. Liam wouldn't mind. He was busy after all. But the line, once clear and sharp, began to blur. A late-night text, a playful emoji, a shared secret smile across a crowded room. My heart would pound, not just from the thrill of the connection, but from the rising tide of guilt, the first cold whispers of fear. The first kiss was stolen, accidental and deliberate all at once. A quick, electric touch in a dimly lit hallway after a work dinner. My entire body hummed with a sensation I hadn't felt in what felt like a lifetime. It was wrong, I knew it was wrong, every fiber of my being screamed protest. But a more primal, insistent voice whispered promises of excitement, of rediscovery. The guilt was immediate and crushing, a heavy cloak I couldn't shed. Yet beneath it a tiny spark of rebellious joy flickered. That spark ignited into a raging fire. The affair began. A clandestine dance of stolen moments and whispered phone calls. My life became a meticulous performance, a delicate balance of lies and evasions. I learned to compartmentalize, to separate my worlds with an efficiency that terrified me. At home, I was the devoted partner, the loyal girlfriend, cooking dinner, sharing quiet evenings with Liam. My kisses tasted of betrayal. My hugs felt hollow. My words were carefully constructed facades. I would look at Liam, my anchor, my constant, and a wave of profound sorrow and regret would wash over me, swiftly followed by a strange, unsettling emptiness. He deserved better. I knew that. But I couldn't stop. The thrill, the validation Mark offered was a powerful addiction. With Mark, I was someone else. I was vivacious, spontaneous, free. He made me feel desired, beautiful, intelligent. He brought out a side of me I thought I had lost, or perhaps never fully possessed. Our rendezvous were a heady mix of excitement and apprehension. Anonymous cafes, secluded parks, hurried moments in hotel rooms that felt both liberating and deeply shameful. Each secret message, each stolen touch, was a dangerous thrill, a tightrope walk over an abyss of discovery. My heart would race not just from passion, but from the constant gnawing fear that someone would see, someone would know, that the fragile illusion I had painstakingly built would shatter. The double life was exhausting. The constant vigilance, the mental gymnastics required to keep track of my stories, the quiet agony of deceiving the person I was supposed to love most. The lies grew heavier, pressing down on me, suffocating me slowly. I started making mistakes. Small slips. A phone left unlocked, a vague explanation for a late return, a subtle change in my routine. Liam, perceptive and gentle, began to notice. His eyes, once full of trusting affection, now held a subtle flicker of doubt, a quiet question I couldn't bring myself to answer. He didn't confront me directly, but the unspoken tension was a suffocating presence in our home. Every quiet moment was laced with unspoken accusations. Every touch felt like a lie. The moment came, not with a bang, but a quiet, devastating whisper. I was tired, so deeply weary of the pretense. The thrill had long faded, replaced by a hollow ache, a profound sense of self-loathing. The joy Mark brought was fleeting, overshadowed by the ever-present shadow of my deception. I realized I was losing myself in the process, becoming someone I didn't recognize, someone I deeply disliked. Liam found a text. It was innocuous enough on its own, a simple, "thinking of you," from Mark. But it was enough. The context, the secrecy, the sudden chill in my blood, gave it away. He looked at me, not with anger, but with a profound, heartbreaking devastation that cut me deeper than any shout ever could. The question in his eyes was clear, sharp, undeniable. The words tumbled out, a choked confession that felt like tearing my own soul open. I've been seeing someone else. The silence that followed was deafening, heavier than any sound I had ever heard. I watched his face crumple, saw the light drain from his eyes, the man I had promised forever to. The pain I had inflicted was visceral, a blow to my own being. It wasn't just my secret that was exposed, but the very foundation of our shared life, shattered into irreparable pieces. Our life, meticulously built with shared dreams and quiet moments, collapsed in an instant. The trust, once so absolute, evaporated into thin air. There was no anger from him, just a quiet, profound grief that made my own guilt unbearable. He deserved my honesty, my loyalty, my respect, and I had given him none of it. Now, months later, I sit alone in a silence that is no longer quiet, but truly empty. Mark is gone, a fleeting shadow, a temporary escape that proved to be just that, temporary. Liam is gone, the constant sun I took for granted, now set permanently. I walk through the ruins of my own making, the debris of a life I carelessly tossed aside for a brief, deceptive thrill. The comfortable home, once filled with shared warmth, now echoes with my solitude. The temporary escape I sought had led to permanent damage. I betrayed not just Liam, but myself. I exchanged comfort for chaos, security for emptiness. The greatest lie I told was to myself, believing I could outrun the consequences, that I could compartmentalize my actions without repercussion. Infidelity isn't just about a broken vow. It's about a broken trust, a shattered sense of reality for someone else. It's a wound that festers, leaving deep, permanent scars on everyone it touches. I learned that the hard way, and the cost was everything. The price of fleeting desire was the destruction of true love, and the enduring burden of profound regret. I am left with the bitter taste of what I lost, and the heavy knowledge that I alone am responsible for the barren landscape of my heart.